What's going on YouTube? Brandon Lechuga here. Thought I'd make a quick video on, people have asked how many cars I've had, because you know, if you've seen my channel, I've had lots of different cars. You've seen me work on lots of different cars and stuff, so just thought I'd make a video on how much money I have spent on vehicles. So there's a lot of vehicles. I did the math. It was, if I remember correctly, it was roughly around like $150,000 in vehicles. So thought I'd do a quick rundown of the vehicles and how much money I spent or invested, and you know how much they cost and everything. So I'll start with my first one. I dropped about $16,000 total into it. It was a Honda Civic, two-door, you know, sporty one. So yeah, you know, it had aftermarket wheels, low-profile racing tires, spoiler, custom headlights, taillights, Lamborghini doors. Yes, it did have Lamborghini doors. And again, you know, that's what honestly people are like, oh, that's so dumb. And you know what, now that I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, it's probably not the best decision. But you know, when you're 16 and all the Fast and the Furious movies are out, you want to make your car like that. Again, that was back then. But again, you know, honestly, it was probably a good learning experience for me, just because, you know, putting the Lamborghini doors on there, you have to do wiring, you have to grind down the door or the hinges a little bit, make everything a custom fit. So you learn how to do a little bit of body work, and then you learn how to, you know, tear apart an entire door panel, all the electronics and all that. Anyways, point of the story is, yeah, so that one was souped up pretty big, you know, I did a lot to it, aftermarket headers, injectors, everything. And yeah, so I spent about a total of $16,000 on that car. And it was pretty, you know, I had it for a long time, you know, put about 70, 80,000 miles on the car myself. Never had a problem with it, never had, you know, oil change and tires, and that was it. So I really ever had to do to that car. So yeah, that was about $16,000. And I had a Dodge Neon SRT4, again, souped up. I dropped about a total of like, actually about $9,000 on that car. New transmission, racing clutch, you know, short shifter, cams, headers, works, everything on that car. It was pushing around 400 horsepower, carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber trunk, a body kit, aftermarket wheels, everything. So yeah, that was about $9,000 total on that car. And then the bigger purchase was the Dodge Challenger. I dropped about 35,000. I think it was like 35,000 after everything was said and done. And that was because, again, it was brand new. And then I got the warranty, extended warranty, bumper to bumper. So, you know, if you get a dent, I think it's still valid. If I get a dent like the size of like a fist or maybe a little bit smaller, like a golf ball, they'll fix the dent for free, they'll repair it, and I still have that coverage and everything. Even once it was paid off, it was like a 7-year coverage. So that, you know, that was pretty expensive. It was $35,000. Then I had a Nissan Titan that ran about $15,000. Had that truck for a little bit, used it as a work truck. And then what was after that? I think after that I got my Silverado. Silverado was about $28,000 said and done, which is really good, with it being, you know, I had a trade, and we traded in the Titan and we traded in my wife's Mustang. But it was a pretty good trade-in. You know, the car was, they wanted $28,000 for it. I got it for like 20 or something like that after the 2 trade-ins, because, you know, I owed on the Titan and stuff. But it might not have even been that much. But again, it was a 2012, pretty new, only had 14,000 miles on it. It had 35s on it, 20-inch XD wheels, lift kit, side runners, mud flares, everything. It was fully decked out, a lift kit. So, you know, a $20,000 truck with 14,000 miles on it, pretty much brand new, you really can't beat that. So again, it was like $28,000 before the trade-ins and everything. I feel like it was a good deal, but a bad deal, because they gave him 2 cars, and my wife's Mustang was pretty new. It only had like 40,000 miles on it. So I felt kind of bad. But let's see. So after the Titan Silverado. I got my work vehicle, a cheap little one, 1997 or 1996 or something like that, Geo Tracker. And again, I got that just because I didn't want to put miles on my truck. That was only $1,000, but I ended up selling it for $2,500 because, you know, over time I did stuff to it, added more speakers, put an aftermarket radio in it and stuff. So yeah, so right there, that's another $1,000, which isn't too bad. Totally forgot too. One of them was my Kawasaki, was $2,300. Ended up selling it for $3,500 when I went to sell it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty good at flipping cars, so, or vehicles in general. I usually try to buy things as cheap as possible. Yeah, I still spent like around $150,000 on vehicles. So yeah, it's kind of a hit or miss. But again, I also forgot about that. So I had the Kawasaki, which was around like $2,500, 2010 250 Type R, the special edition one. So I had that bike for a little bit. Shoot, I totally forgot about that. I had the Kawasaki when I had the Honda. So we've got the Honda, the Kawasaki, the SRT4, then we have the Challenger, then we have the Titan, and then we have the Silverado, then we have the Geo Tracker. After the Geo Tracker, I think my next purchase was the Skyline, and again I bought that for about $10,000, ended up selling it for about $17,000, so I made a pretty good profit off that. That was a fun car. Again, the whole purpose of that, getting that car even, was just to make a profit. So yeah, I bought that, made about $7,000 off of it, kept it for a while, you know, had fun with it, and then shoot, let's see, so it was the Skyline. After the Skyline, it was the Nitro, which I'm in right now. You can see the blue on the side right here. That's the Nitro. I traded in, or I sold the Geo outright, got the Nitro. Like I said, I made $2,500 off the Geo, which is really good. I don't know how I made so much money. And again, I buy cars cheap where they need a little bit of work because I know how to work on them, and I wish I would have done a lot more videos on that car. Spark plugs, oil change. I had my channel up, but at the time I was really busy with a lot of different things, so I wasn't even like thinking about it. But yeah, so then I got the Nitro, and then I also bought the Kawasaki 4x, or I've had that. This is totally out of order. I'm kind of getting mixed up. The Kawasaki was a few years back, so around when I had the Geo. When I bought the Geo, I bought that, and that was $17,000. And then I have a pit bike, which was, I think it was like $650, really cheap for the pit bike. So the pit bike was only $650. Like I said, the Kawasaki, brand new, off the showroom floor again. It's got the same kind of paint job as my Challenger, so that's really cool. That's one of the reasons why we picked it, because it had all the green, just like the Challenger. I'm like, come on, we gotta get that one. So yeah, that was $17,000. Let me see what other vehicles I've had. I know I've had, the Audi TT. I had the TT for a little bit. You know, again, bought it pretty cheap. I bought it for like $3,000, ended up selling it for $5,000. Did some work to it, blow-off valve. If you've seen some of my other videos, you can see some of the work. Oil change, fixed some hoses that were busted and leaking. And then, yeah, blow-off valve, boost gauge, blacked out the taillights, and did a few more other like small things. So yeah, that was about $33,000 to $35,000, somewhere around there. So yeah, and then the last purchase I think so far, I'm trying to remember, hopefully I'm not forgetting a car. It's really been a lot of vehicles. So like right there, I think it's like 10 or 15, and I'm only you know, I'm only 25, 20, I just turned 26 actually. Yes, I just turned 26, and I've owned 10 plus cars. If I don't know, you'd have to count after this video. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I've owned a lot of vehicles, a lot. It's definitely 2 hands worth of counting. So then the final one is the GTR, and that one I actually dropped. That's my most expensive vehicle that I've ever purchased. It was around, when it was said and done, it was like $65,000, and again, that has some mad horsepower coming out of it. It's around 600. Hopefully, I don't know, we'll see how it goes to plan. I'm hoping to get a Cobb tuner for it. and do an E85 tune on it, and then have a few more things done to it to see how much power we can push out of it, and hopefully get close to hitting around 700, depending on what size fuel injectors I put in it and everything, and new fuel pumps, all that. So we'll see. It's gonna need a few more things to it to get up there, but yeah, that's the plan. So that one was $65,000, and I put a good chunk of money down in that car, and now I only owe around $40,000 on the car, so I should be paying that off pretty fast. But yeah, I was doing the math the other day online. You know, I probably forgot a few cars, and didn't probably chalk them down, but I was going through my head, you know, thinking of more videos I could do for the channel, and one of them was this, so I thought I'd do it. And yeah, so I spent probably close to roughly $150,000 on vehicles, which is ridiculous when I say it out loud. Yeah, that's crazy, because the main thing is too, most of them, besides the Titan, all of them have been paid off except the Titan and the GTR. So right now, once I pay the GTR off, the Titan wasn't paid off, but like I said, my wife's Mustang, the Honda, SRT4, all of those are paid off. So I pretty much paid $150,000, all of it, cash for the cars. I mean, I've sold them, I've made some profit, lost some profit on some of them, but for the most part, I usually made a grand or two extra than what I paid for the car. So it's always good to make money. I don't know if I've made a video yet on how to sell cars for a profit. I've done it. It's not easy. It's definitely pretty difficult, but if you know what you're doing, you can make pretty good money out of it. So, and again, like I said, off of 1, 2, 3 sales that I made the most money. One of them was the Geo Tracker, made $1,500 off of that. The Kawasaki was like $2,000 when that one was said and done. How much money I made off of that one, because that was ridiculous. It made quite a bit. And then the Skyline being the biggest profit of $7,000. Again, it's a lot of work to import a car from Japan. It's not easy. It takes time. It's stressful. It's very stressful, actually. But yeah, I mean, I did it. Enjoyed the car. You know, made it pretty custom. Did a custom headliner on the car. Did a bunch of custom suede interior and stuff. So it was worth it in the long run for me. But yeah, so this is just a quick rundown of how much money I have dropped on cars, and that's not including interest and all that other crap. So yeah, it's close to $150,000 that I spent on vehicles, which is ridiculous sounding once I say it out loud. But you know, it's an addiction and it's a hobby, and as long as my wife supports it, I'll keep doing it. But yeah, this is Brandon Lechuga. I hope you liked this video. Like, subscribe, check out some of my other videos. You might like them too. And have a good day. Thank you.